Okay, we are live.
राइट है अगर राइट आ जाएगा
We will start in few minutes. For all the people who are watching on YouTube, please stay tuned.
Hi Rahul, hi Harika, just confirming that you're able to hear me well.
Yes, Nipun.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
We'll wait for a couple of minutes, Nipun, to start for the T-Hub team also to join.
Hi, good morning, Nipun.
Hi, Shubhank, morning, how are you?
Very well, how are you?
Doing very good.
Good to see you. Long time.
Long time. Hi, Dr. Prashant.
Good morning, Mr. Rama Iyer. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes. So I think let's start the webinar. Thank you so much for joining in and welcome to the joint webinar of on the Innovation Challenge of India's Student Healthcare Innovation Center. Before we start the webinar, I would request everyone in YouTube who is watching us live through YouTube channel to post all your comments and questions in the chat box. We'll address all your questions at the end of the webinar. I'm Harika Garapati and I program manage the India Student Healthcare Innovation Center initiative, and I will be moderating this session also today. With extreme pleasure, I would like to give us a grateful thanks to T-Hub and all your team members, Mr. Rama, for helping us in organizing this particular webinar. Without any further delay, I would right now request Mr. Rama Iyer to give us the opening remarks and welcome the audience. Over to you, Mr. Rama Iyer.
Thanks, Harika. I think a very good morning to all of the people who have joined us, including the panelists, the speakers. We at THUB are very delighted for one of few reasons. One, I think healthcare is probably the most pertinent topic given the state that we are going, not only India and Sweden, but the entire world. So I think it's a right theme, it's the right topic. It's very timely. I'm happy that India and Sweden has come together to build a large program around this. Healthcare and innovation is a very large intersection, obviously, and there are multiple facets to it. I'm also very happy that all the heavyweights, whether it is Invest India, Agni, ICMR, AIMS, AstraZeneca from the industry side, all are kind of putting their weight and might behind this, and we are just kind of happy to be one other partner in this whole scheme of things, and we'll absolutely do whatever is required to ensure that we bring in value and help the startups, whether it is connecting, mentoring, any of the other things that we do for many of our programs that we work globally with many majors across multiple facets. We work with a lot of Fortune 500 companies. We work with government entities. We obviously today are a thought leader in the country of how innovation ecosystem needs to be built. And we obviously have given our playbook to at least 15 other state governments of how to build innovation ecosystems. So we are a full stack ecosystem, if you will. It's an incubator, it's an accelerator, it's an international immersion program. We've run programs with multiple other countries in the past. So that's a quick of where we come from in terms of value add. Let me also touch a little bit about where THUB is based out of, which is Hyderabad and Telangana. We have phenomenal focus in things healthcare, biosciences, and pharma, and we have the largest cluster of companies in the entire Asia, which is out of Hyderabad and extended ecosystem. In fact, some of you may know, some of you may be as surprised as I was when I first heard that anywhere between 30 to 40% of drugs are manufactured from this part of the world, right, in Telangana. We host somewhere around 600 to 800 companies across life science, healthcare, and biotech. That is how large the cluster is. We have multiple initiatives going on in the state, which includes a pharma city, which includes a medtech park, which includes what we are calling it as B-Hub, which is about bioinformatics and allied things coming together. We also have other similar initiatives to ensure that we really put ourselves, as India on the health map. And today, there is a rallying call from so many constituents in the country and in the world. So I think those are things that I wanted to touch upon of we are happy to be part of this program, just to kind of give a little bit of insight of our focus and emphasis on all things healthcare. And in terms of innovation, THUB is today the country's largest incubation ecosystem and soon to be one among the world's largest as we draw into our new campus, which will be by the year end. So I think those are things from our side, and I just kind of wish the entire team here and the startups who are going to be part of this cohort to really take advantage of everything that you get from the program, and really kind of put it together, scale and grow. So I think wishing all the startups who become part of the program a great best of luck from our. And on that note, happy for having me on this, Harika. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ramayar, and we are very hopeful for this collaboration to go, and I'm sure this will only go miles ahead. And we are very happy to collaborate with THUB for this webinar and also on multiple initiatives going forward. Thank you so much for your time. I would now request Mr. Shubhang Vikas and Mr. Amrit Hinduja to give us an overview of India Sweden Healthcare Innovation Center. Over to you, Amrit.
Sure. Thank you, Harika, for that. Both Shubhang and me, Amrit, we lead the India Sweden Healthcare Innovation Center initiative. This collaboration which we have tried to create goes back to a government-to-government relationship between India and Sweden, and we're very proud that we can be part of this under this umbrella. And by this, I am referring to an MOU of healthcare between both of the countries, which include a wide array of cooperation, including innovation in healthcare in various therapy areas. as well as recent as 2018 when the Indian Prime Minister visited Sweden. Innovation within healthcare under the Joint Declaration on Innovation was a key focus. And therefore, we take in many ways inspiration and also root ourselves under this to ensure that whatever we do under this gets the highest visibility possible for all the stakeholders that are involved with us or get involved, including the startups and the entrepreneurs who I think are a very core cog in this entire concept that we have created. When we talk about innovation as part of this, there are multiple definitions of innovation and entrepreneurship, but very often referred to in terms of tangible technology. What we have tried to do is go beyond that to have a holistic approach. My colleague will talk about our pillars within innovation, and that will give you an insight into how we look at this in a holistic manner. We're very proud to say that Sweden has collaborated with AIIMS Delhi and Jodhpur, who are the core partners within this. And together with them and all our other partners, including T-Hub and all the other experts such as Atal Innovation Mission, Agni, NASCOM, AstraZeneca, etc., our aim is to identify challenges within the healthcare ecosystem. And based on that, we would then see how to solve these challenges with the entrepreneurs and startups. And the innovation challenge, which we're going to talk about today, is the first kind of challenge set that we have identified. And we are proud to roll that out and invite in the applications to collaborate with us on that. If I were to talk about the kind of the broad vision and mission of the center and why are we actually doing this, it's very much in line with the Indian government's vision for healthcare, which is to have healthcare for everybody, both the have and the have-nots in every geography in the country. So affordable, accessible healthcare is very important. And India is an expert when it comes to this concept of what we call frugal or jugaad, and we know that there are a lot of strengths, and we want to kind of combine that with some of the Swedish way of thinking to create success stories for the startups we engage with. And therefore, towards that, we have created the India-Sweden Innovation Center. The word center is slightly misleading a word. We often say we realized it a bit late after naming it, but what we're really trying to do is create an ecosystem. So though our geographic centers are a bit around Delhi and Jodhpur at AIIMS, the idea is to create an ecosystem around the country, and therefore partners like T-Hub in the central hub of Hyderabad, which is so strong within bio, are so important for us, along with the other partners that we are tying up within as our ecosystem. So when you collaborate with us, what you get is not just the collaboration with AIIMS Delhi or Jodhpur, you will get access to an ecosystem of various stakeholders, and we will share also some more of that thinking as we go along. And as part of this process, we would look at collaborating with both ideation stage, early stage, mid stage, and late stage. So we're looking at we invite startups in the entire kind of value chain, and you will find that there are various pieces that we can support with, depending on where you are in this journey. So in many ways, that this innovation challenge is open to the entire value chain and throughout the country. With that, few words, I hand over to Shubhang to continue to maybe walk us through about the Innovation Center.
Thank you so much, Amrit. And thank you so much, Mr. Rama, for your opening remarks. Like both Mr. Rama and Mr. Amrit kind of mentioned a couple of times, right? The goal of T-Hub also with its multiple collaborations is to create a holistic ecosystem, right? And it's the same goal for India-Sweden Innovation Center. So in that sense, we are supplementing each other. And when we say holistic ecosystem, what exactly does it mean, right? So what we mean is that this is not just a platform for ideating, innovating, and kind of testing and deploying your solutions, but it is also a platform that will help you scale up your solutions across the country and beyond the world, right? Which is extremely, extremely important. And in that sense, when we talk about unless we scale up the solutions, it's very difficult to create an impact in the healthcare delivery and kind of align with the objectives of affordability, accessibility, and speed that is required in today's healthcare delivery network. So with that said, there are 4 building blocks, or rather 5 building blocks and pillars that we want to drive innovation in. And when we see these 5 building blocks, these are also the same pillars on which any healthcare delivery network actually relies on. So the very first one is protocols and processes, by which we mean the patient life cycle, from awareness, diagnosis to rehabilitation and post-treatment. And when we say innovation in this, we are looking to bring more efficiency, efficacy, and effectiveness of these individual protocols so that it becomes much easier for the medical practitioners to administer these protocols, and also much easier for the end patients to accrue the results or get speed in their own healthcare treatment and protocols. Second is technology. It's a no-brainer, but I would like to definitely say that technology is an enabler or a driver of any solution. Technology, innovation in technology is not the end game over here, but how can we use technology to, reimagine the protocols and processes, add speed, and add more effectiveness to point of care devices, and so on and so forth. Third is business model. How do we use innovative solutions to decrease the cost of healthcare on the patient and on the government and on the entire system alike? We do know with the present government's Ayushman Bharat program, it's a wonderful initiative. It's a different business model, right? On how and who and when does one pay for treatments and or services. But we'd also like to kind of concentrate on this particular aspect so that we can continuously improve on this entire business model ecosystem, if you will. Fourth is data. We as a country generate copious amounts of data, but I think we do need to do a much better job of collecting, processing, disseminating, and overall structuring the data in a way so that we can use technology to kind of reimagine business models, protocols, and processes, so on and so forth. Fifth, skilling, I think, is extremely, extremely important. We can create the best of the best innovative solutions possible, working in our labs, working in our innovation hubs. But unless and until we cannot scale it up by training the medical practitioners, the paramedics, and other stakeholders, we won't be able to create an impact. So with these 5 building blocks or pillars, we hope to create an impact in the entire healthcare delivery system of India and even beyond. So if we can go ahead to partners. Right. I think the previous speakers did mention a couple of these partners, but again, it goes back to the fact that we don't want to have a very siloed approach. Hence, from a very strategic guidance angle, we have the Ministry of Health and Family Affairs, Government of India, the Ministry of Health from Sweden, Atal Innovation Mission, Indian Council of Medical Research, ICMR, Invest India, Startup in India, and Agni as our partners from the government side. Secondly, and very importantly, are our partners in the academia category, which are All India Institute of Medical Sciences, New Delhi, and All India Institute of Medical Sciences, Jodhpur. And as Amrit alluded to, one of our incubation centers would be located in the campus of AIIMS Jodhpur, apart from another satellite campus that we have at NASCOM. But AIIMS Jodhpur and AIIMS Delhi are our prime collaborators with the Swedish Trade and Invest Council, the Trade Commissioner's Office, and will play an extremely, extremely important part in mentoring, in providing facilities like high-tech labs and deep tech labs and laboratories and other things for startups such as yourself to succeed. And in terms of knowledge and technology partners, we have AstraZeneca bringing subject matter expertise, not just from India, not just from Sweden, but from across the globe, where they have done a lot of these initiatives and have been able to provide their expertise to varied ranges of startups and innovators. And NASCOM, for the pure technology expertise, are our partners as well, who will enable everything that is related to technology. And last but not the least, startups are extremely important. This entire innovation center is geared towards onboarding startups who are very interested in solving challenges in the healthcare delivery problem. And you would be the focus so that we can help you succeed over the next couple of years. With that, I would turn it back to Harika to take this ahead. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shubhank. The Innovation Center platform is definitely a unique cross-country platform where the expertise from both the countries could be leveraged very much in detail for all the startups that are getting onboarded into the center. Though the challenge that we are focusing on will focus on different areas of technology, as Shubhang was highlighting, which includes point-of-care devices, telemedicine, and others as well. We have some of our experts from AIIMS Jodhpur who would like to specifically talk about AI in healthcare and also give us an overview about the themes of Innovation Challenge. I will now request Dr. Arun Prashas, Assistant Professor, AIIMS Jodhpur, to give an overview about his point of view about AI in healthcare and how it could transform the healthcare in India, and also take us through the themes of the Innovation Challenge. Over to you, Dr. Arun.
Thank you, Harika. So, this innovation challenge with technology, there is a huge untapped potential. We are living in information age. With this huge amount of data, we are unable to translate this exactly into the healthcare domain. Even though there has been significant advancement, still there is a lot of untapped potential. For example, inequality. India is a huge place where 1 in 1,000 doctors is a WHO now, where there are places where 1 in 250 doctors are there and 1 in 10,000 doctors are there. For 10,000 patients, there are a single doctor. Technology and internet as such is a great equalizer. So this technology can be used to make the things affordable and accessible for everyone, equalized for everyone. As you know, this pandemic has created a lot of change in the tech. This has accelerated the change in tech in medicine. So as such, because huge companies are cross-funding their data, they are crowdsourcing their data, Kaggle competitions are being held for predicting diseases. So there is a huge change in the healthcare sector due to this pandemic. So just going before to the next head, I just want to say that innovation has to have a single unique solution to any problem, which is clinically translatable, which is beneficial to the patient. It should be accessible, affordable, frugal, and scalable. So this, can we go to the next slide, please? So coming to the technologies which are present, digital platforms, it has been around for a few years, but there has not been any single exact challenge or a unique opportunity which has been a unique solution which has been offered by the digital platforms. However, there is a huge potential for it. Telehealth is becoming the norm. Everyday consultations are being held, patients are being checked through video conferencing, and there is a huge potential in telehealth. Because of this pandemic, there is an accelerated use of telehealth. Most of the consultations are even being held right now. There is still a lot of potential left in telehealth. Coming to the AI applications, this artificial intelligence and machine learning has emerged leaps and bounds in the past few years due to computer vision technologies and convolution neural networks. There has been images can be identified by a system, objects can be detected, classified, and analyzed by computers through computer vision. So there are numerous real-world applications. In fact, FDA is the Food and Drug Administration USA has approved so many products for in healthcare. In field of emergency medicine, for predicting ICU admission, in field of cardiology, dermatology, and the major change which I expect is in the field of nuclear medicine and radiology, which is radiomics. Radiomics is the extraction of data from the image. These features are being extracted from the image, which can be translated into efficient products. There are a huge number of already existing applications. However, the benefits of AI and ML technology has been predominantly towards the other parts of it, like self-driven cars and such. But this has not been completely leveraged by the healthcare industry. It is ripe for this. The healthcare industry is ready for this innovation change. And for example, this COVID pandemic has accelerated the AI, artificial intelligence and machine learning algorithms can predict the number of cases, can detect, they're used for contact tracing, can be used for detecting the infection, diagnosing the diseases, and monitoring the treatment for the disease. Even for drug and vaccine developments, the multiple sites of vaccine are being currently developed with the help of AI models. So this field has a huge unseen potential. Healthcare is ready for it. And next, coming to the IoT or the Internet of Things devices, healthcare, there are multiple sensors from everyday monitoring of vitals to post-op care. Everywhere there are so many sensors and digital instruments in medicine. However, they are not connected with each other, and the technology has not been leveraged. Huge data has not been come out of it. if all the things have connected, we can get an overall picture and the data can be mined out of it. And coming to the point of care devices, there are a few existing point of care devices for monitoring the treatment and for administering even treatments. However, as I already said, this has not been accessible and affordable. There has not been some unique solutions for everything. This can be leveraged. And coming to the continuum of care, for example, if a patient first needs to be aware of a disease before coming to a hospital, digital platforms, not only digital platforms, other technology can also create, but predominantly digital platforms can raise awareness about a disease. So this can be translated. Once a patient gets to know about the disease, then comes the screening process. Screening can be done with the help of telehealth or other technical advances. However, this screening plays a role, as you know, the non-communicable diseases like diabetes or even oncology. Early detection and early diagnosis will lead to significant reduction in mortality and morbidity. Patients can live a longer life and better quality of life if a disease is detected early. Screening provides the ultimate earlier checkpoint where we can diagnose the disease at an earlier time point. Coming to the diagnostics, this is where I envision a day where any imaging, digital images, either from pathology, nuclear medicine, radiology, or any microbiology, any digital images will be analyzed by an algorithm and will be confirmed by a physician, whether it is a yes or no or something like that. This is a day I envision which most of the technologies will change like that. Diagnostic will play an important role in confirming the disease role. Coming to the treatment part, after diagnosing a disease, while administering treatment, whether it can be surgery or radiotherapy or any other form of modality, there might be some complications, there might be some untoward effects. It can be diagnosed by point of care devices in the patient. They can be monitored remotely. The physicians can be alerted early. There are so numerous applications, as I've said. So just to conclude that any innovation has to have a unique solution and clinically translatable approach so that it can benefit the patients. I now hand over to Harika.
Thank you so much, Dr. Arun, for taking us through the need for healthcare innovation and specifically the unseen potential that healthcare has right now and how startups could leverage this unseen potential to transform the healthcare in India. I would now request Mr. Nipun Jain, Head of IT from AstraZeneca Emerging Markets, to take us through the problem statements and specifically what this innovation challenge is addressing. Over to you, Nipun.
Thank you, Harika. Before I start, to anyone watching this, I would like to hope that you guys are keeping safe and healthy during these pandemic times, and you continue to do so. As Harika mentioned, I'm the Director of Medical IT for AstraZeneca's international markets, and I'm very obliged to be part of this webinar today. I would like to focus on the problem statement that we are trying to solve through this India-Sweden Healthcare Innovation Challenge. Healthcare innovation is a very big area, and unless we prioritize the end goal of our innovation challenge, we will be all over the place. With that, we have three main goals of this innovation challenge. The first main goal is a therapeutic area goal. We are focusing in the area of non-communicable diseases. The rationale for doing that is non-communicable diseases are very chronic conditions. They require a lot of management for improving the patient outcomes. They are very complex. Early diagnosis, timely treatment, continuous adherence to treatments are very critical for a positive patient outcome, and the mortality due to non-communicable diseases for India continues to increase. So gone are the days when infectious diseases were the priority for the healthcare systems. Now lifestyle diseases, non-communicable diseases are the ones which contribute up more than 40% of adult mortality in India, and that's why we want to focus in the area of non-communicable diseases. Just to expand what non-communicable diseases mean, they include disease areas such as respiratory diseases, chronic respiratory conditions such as asthma and COPD. They include oncology diseases such as lung cancer, women's cancer like breast cancer, prostate cancer, and so on. They include cardiorenal metabolic diseases, diseases such as heart failure, renal diseases such as chronic kidney disease, and metabolic diseases such as diabetes. So in the area of non-communicable diseases is what our priority is for the Healthcare Innovation Challenge. That's priority number one. Priority two is we are looking at solutions which address the unmet needs in the patient journey, right? So unless there is an actual problem to be solved, there is perhaps not too much impact of an innovative solution to that area, right? So anything which is unmet in the patient journey, whether it's due to awareness, whether it's in diagnosis, whether it's in treatment, or whether it's in recovery phase of the patient journey, that is what we want to focus on. For example, telemedicine solution you see on your screen is a focus area, and during the current pandemic times, when access to healthcare is even a greater challenge for a country like India, where it's not possible for you to go and meet a specialist, or to get a consultation, it's solutions such as telehealth, telemedicine, online prescription, remote monitoring, all of that are going to be very important. Another thing, for example, after a clinical procedure, post-operative patient monitoring via remote care wearables is also going to be very important. So anything across the patient journey where the patient is facing significant challenges in receiving a quality treatment or getting a positive outcome, that is what we want to solve. So that's priority number 2. It has to be solving a real tangible problem statement as it exists in non-communicable diseases across the patient journey. The third area we would like to solve is in the area of data. Dr. Arun talked very nicely about application of artificial intelligence algorithms. We do believe that's going to be the future of healthcare. The reason for that is India has a unique challenge in terms of imbalance between the available healthcare professionals and the burden of healthcare, right? And with technologies such as big data and artificial intelligence, we believe that we will be it's much more possible to bridge that gap in the future. Technologies can look at patients who are at high risk of, let's say, heart failure, high risk of cardiovascular ailments. Technology can help identify which treatment options are going to work best based on a patient's history, their biomarkers. Technology can also help collect electronic records and generate new